Hi everyone, today we're going to be going over all the tools you'll need to get started with the chilling Dead Apostle Vlov Arkhangel. One of the first things you may notice when playing this character is that his projectiles and a lot of special moves have two different types. The first type is what you get on round start, which is his heat mode, and if he loses a round, he'll go into his more dangerous ice mode. So let's go over those tools and how they differ. Starting off, his main projectiles to keep control of space is quarter circle forward and then A, B, C, and of course the moon version. In the air and on the ground, doing the A version will send it horizontally, while doing B will send it either up or down depending on if you're ground or air respectively, at an angle. Now all of these can be followed up again by pressing either A or B to shoot off a second projectile at that arc. Now keep in mind, the fire one is plus on block for the initial hit. However, a second one will be minus on block. As far as ice is concerned, while it is one frame minus unblocked, which is not bad at all, it is probably a better projectile because the ice comes out so much faster, so it's much easier to catch someone with a hit. The follow-ups of this are also minus unblocked. There is a way to make these plus, however. By holding down the button that you want to follow up with, you will send out two projectiles, and these are very plus unblocked for both the fire and ice versions. The downside, of course, is that the opponent can see the flash occur and makes it a lot easier for it to be shielded. But because of your plus nature, it's possible if they do a B shield counter that you can pretty easily get a launcher and go into combos. The advantages of fire are its sweeping space coverage and plus on block, and the advantages of ice are its incredible speed and higher damage. The EX versions really highlight this, as the fire one has these massive spanning spaces it covers, and the ice one is incredibly fast and they link together really easily. Finally, his moon version is something you're not going to want to sleep on, as the forward fire one is obscenely plus on block. The ice one is about half as plus as the fire one, but its advantage is its much faster startup time, allowing it to be used better for combos. The air versions are jump cancelable, so it lets you throw out tons of projectiles and keep them locked down. Now you get a nice animation change on the third of quarter circle back Rekka, but that doesn't have any different effects. Finally, his down moves are like one frame faster. It's really nothing too crazy. Now these moves themselves, however, are a little bit wild. As another projectile worth mentioning, his down, A, B, and C moves are phenomenal. The A version is very fast, going full screen in 12 frames, and can be picked up really easily with meter. Doing B is effectively twice as slow. However, this time it becomes a low move, which is really strong. Doing a second input will then pull them back to you, which is a massive part of his gameplay, as this will hit low regardless of which one you did, so you will still force them to block even with the A startup. This is also jump cancelable, which we'll go into for his big strings and confirms later. Because the star of the show is his C version. So let's just say the moon version, it's fine. It's much more of a neutral tool because on block, it will push the opponent really far away. However, you can never do the second follow-up for it, so it's not a combo piece. But the CEX version, holy moly, it comes out very fast, does both hits for you, is plus on block, massive pressure, and the craziest thing is that by being an EX move, you can do this to pick up any of your projectiles and turn them into combos. Definitely something to practice is getting used to the moment Vlov becomes actionable out of doing this, because you're going to want to be able to put in another down and then go into A to get a combo after and such. Its knockup is also so big that it becomes really easy to go into his Rekka, which we mentioned before. Now all of these versions essentially vacuum into on hit, so the one thing to get used to is that you have to wait until after that second hit to input the follow-up button that you choose. Can be a little tricky to get the hang of, so you can't just double tap and then you're good to go, but the moment you get used to it, it gives you a generous window, so definitely use it as a way to start being able to breathe mid-fight and collect yourself. The startup attack for the A version is actually a low, so while it's minus on block, that's an amazing way to poke forward and pressure. The B version will do a higher up hit, so you have now a ground and air option. B can also be charged individually, and this is really big for his corner combos. Now the follow-up to the Rekka is really big because it gives you a generous amount of time to go into follow-ups such as crouching C, down A afterwards. So this becomes one of the key pieces for comboing. The third hit of the Rekka is unsafe if locked, but in the corner can lead to a wall bounce for combos. And if you hold backwards and do a third thing, you'll actually go into a command throw. So you can start mixing up, strike throw pressure on your opponent. The moon version done by doing backwards and B and C is a very fast move that lunges forward. So it's one of your best best ways to kind of, quickly pick something up on reaction. As a lot of Vlov's conversions are done from a special move, such as your projectile into your floor smack or into these quarter circle back combos, it is really important you get used to just internalizing physically that feeling of when you finish your move so that you can immediately go into the next ones. Let's round out his confirms with his strong neutral buttons, and then we'll go into those BnBs, shall we? While his fastest moves are slow for fast moves on the A buttons, his B and C moves have massive amounts of range. Forward C can actually be charged, however, to give yourself an overhead, but keep in mind that it is very slow. So its lack of armor makes it pretty susceptible to counter hit punish. 2C is also massive range as a poke, but keep in mind that even though it's a very long range poke, it is very susceptible to getting hit if you miss. As far as his air buttons, his jumping A is his fastest one, but his jumping B is very strong, as it is very good at catching people out horizontally, and if you air dash immediately after hitting it, you will be able to confirm into a second one and finish a combo. Jumping C, however, is his big one. This has the massive sweeping range, can be charged to give yourself armor, and is huge for his rejump combos. So now that we have all these done, let's combine it all, because these combos get really cool and you can start mixing and matching them really easily. Now for Vlov, the main pieces that you're going to need to keep in mind are these jump cancelable ground combos and doing certain hits out of his Rekka. After the pullback from one of his ground launchers, you should jump up and do a charged C. This will bounce the opponent on the ground and then let you go into an aerial B, which you should give a little bit of a delay so you can get closer to the ground. Then you can go into a B, and then depending on if it's the start of the combo, go into C and then the Rekka, which will lock them back down to the ground. Or if it's near the end, you can always go into a standing B into his launcher move. Because of how fast you recover from the C version, not only can you jump cancel it, you can dash and then get a 5C, which will allow you to convert even from full screen by first doing the A1 into an EX canceled C and then dash forward with a C. Down A can be done from the second part of his Rekka, but it's also possible to get a crouching C into standing C into your rapid B combo if you want an easier confirm. In the corner, Vlov's even scarier, as the third hit of his Rekka will wall bounce for further combos. You also gain access to his terrifying quarter circle back charged B, and this covers some range, so you can even be a little bit away from the corner and still convert into corner combos with the teleport it gives. Because of the massive hit stun, you can then go into a Rekka after that, or if you are in fire mode, you gain access to getting a little bit extra damage by doing a single hit A projectile and then going into your standard moves. This will not work when he's in ice mode, so keep that in mind and just go for the other pieces. His ice mode is much more of a finisher. Keep in mind those EX cancels I was talking about. Doing a quarter circle forward C with ice at the end of a combo is so much damage, and then you can turn that into a super or even use some moon drive to get even further return. And that's the primary part of his combo theory. A lot of it is doing these couple, like a 2C into 5C or a Rekka start or whatever it is into another special move and piecing those together depending on your distances. So that's the important thing for you to internalize. That makes sense as a space control character, and there are still more things that are really strong to take advantage of. For instance, after you get a launcher on someone, you'll find that Vlov, really you kind of just want to go for an air throw. If you do that immediately, Vlov will be too close to the ground for you to get a follow-up, so it's really best to actually just do a single jumping A and then combo into air throw. This will true combo, and it puts you at a slightly higher distance that you can delay a jump and get an air dash and just keep your pressure ambiguous and mix it up on your opponent. Also, I didn't mention before because it ties in so well here, but the C version of your Rekka is incredibly good as an EX finisher because it will do all of the hits automatically for you and launches the opponent up instead of doing that just blast them away follow-up. Vlov will also let you have an easy time picking up shield counters, and those might be happening a lot with the projectiles you're throwing out. Once you launch someone, you can go into BC and then do a charge jumping C. Delay that B like we talked about, and it will bring you down to the ground and you can go into those other combos that we did before. You can also get really fancy and toss in some moon projectiles to be really cool. Don't forget, fire is amazing at space control and keeping you plus and getting a couple extra hits in the middle of combos, while ice is incredibly fast and a very strong finisher to put your opponents in the ground. Remember to breathe and keep those timings in your mind as you get them, and just putting these couple pieces together, you will have a complete Vlov that is terrifying the masses. Look forward to the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!